Kuchoka apo mudzaona sikulu yomwe mukufuna kulipira komanso dzina la ophunzira. Onetsetsani kuti zonse ndi zolondola. Pitirirani ndi kuyika ndalama nthawi yomweyo mudzalandira SMS yotsimikiza kuti zatheka.
It's time for news on Luntha television with me, Charity Chilanga. Let's have a look at the top stories.
Pope Leo XIV urges the faithful to trust God's timing and proclaim the gospel everywhere. Malawi Bureau of Standards reports improved compliance with Malawi standards among local shops. Association of People with Albinism seeks audience with President Mutharika over safety concerns. And in other news, Uganda post-election tensions escalate as opposition leader's wife attacked.
We do have the details to these and many other stories, stay tuned. Pope Leo XIV has urged Christians not to be paralyzed by fear, hesitation, or unfavorable circumstances, but to trust in God's timing and to bring the gospel into every context of human life as a force for fraternity and peace. The Holy Father made these remarks during his Angelus address on Sunday as he reflected on the gospel passage, recounting the beginning of Jesus' public ministry and the call of the first disciples. We have a Vatican News report read by Fales Chizombe.
Reflecting on the Gospel, Pope Leo XIV invited the faithful to consider two key questions when Jesus began his preaching and where he chose to do so. He noted that the Gospel says Jesus began his ministry when he heard that John had been arrested, a moment backed by uncertainty and tension. Describing this as an apparently inopportune time, the Pope stressed that it was precisely in this dark situation that Jesus began to bring the light of the good news, proclaiming that the kingdom of heaven has come near. Pope Leo said this detail speaks directly to the experience of believers today. He explained that interior struggles or circumstances deemed unfavorable can lead individuals or the Church to think it is not the right moment to proclaim the gospel, make decisions, or bring about change. Warning against such hesitation, the Holy Father said it risks leading to paralysis through indecision or excessive prudence. Instead, he reminded the faithful that the gospel calls believers to dare to trust, since God is at work at all times, and every moment is truly God's time, even when people do not feel ready. Turning to the place where Jesus began his ministry, Pope Leo XIV highlighted the significance of Capernaum in Galilee, a region shaped by trade, cultural diversity, and religious plurality. By settling there, he said Jesus revealed a mission that transcends borders and narrow borders. The Pope explained that Galilee, as a multicultural religion, reveals a Messiah who proclaims a God who draws close to everyone. From this perspective, Pope Leo XIV encouraged Christians to resist the temptations of isolation or withdrawal. He insisted that the gospel must be proclaimed and lived in every setting, serving as a leaven of fraternity and peace among all individuals, cultures, religions, and people. Concluding his reflection, the Holy Father invited the faithful to respond generously to the Lord's call, like the first disciples. He encouraged them to follow Jesus with joy, trusting that every time and every place in their lives is permitted by the Lord's presence and His love.
The Archdiocese of Lilongwe has established a new Office of the Director of Legal Affairs, Compliance and Social Justice to strengthen legal coordination within the Church and promote good governance, compliance with the law and the mission of justice and peace. According to a statement signed by Archbishop Judge Desmond Tambala, the office has been created to ensure the smooth operation of the Archdiocese and its institutions while aligning church activities with both civil law and church teachings. The statement further indicates that the office will be headed by Father John Kaliwamba, who will serve under the authority of the Archbishop in overseeing legal, compliance and social justice matters within the Archdiocese. Emmanuel Jocha reports.
Speaking to Luntha, Director of Legal Affairs, Compliance and Social Justice, Father John Kaliwamba said the office will work to advance the vision of building a Holy Spirit-filled family of God committed to interregional development and evangelization for all. Father Kaliwamba emphasized that evangelization and development are key pillars of the church vision and mission, noting that proper legal procedures and regulations must be followed to support these goals effectively.
Key aspects in the vision and the mission of the church, for it to be possible, the Archdiocese is always interfacing with other institutions, legal personalities, creating legal relationships, and those legal relationships are supposed to be regulated by the Office of the Director of Legal Affairs, and there is also a second component of compliance. The Archdiocese of Lilongwe, being a legal person, is a player in a lake full of entities and institutions, full of regulations. So, as a law-abiding institution, the Archdiocese is supposed to be compliant to regulations that are imposed on the Archdiocese as a legal personality by the government and other like-minded institutions. So, the office will actually foster compliance on the part of the Archdiocese.
The Office of the Director of Legal Affairs, Compliance and Social Justice will work in cross collaboration with the Royds and Associates, the Archdiocese legal practitioners, as part of the efforts to strengthen accountability, transparency and service to the people of God. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chuocha.
The Malawi Bureau of Standards (MBS) has disclosed that most shops across the country are now complying with the required standards on product storage, labeling and quality following intensified and periodic inspections aimed at protecting consumers. Senior Quality Monitoring Officer Masozi Munifumbo made the remarks during an inspection exercise which the Bureau has embarked on across Lilongwe City on Monday, January 26th. More details in this report followed by Gift Kalonga.
During the inspection, MBS Senior Quality Monitoring Officer Masozi Mwenefumbo noted that most shops in Lilongwe are now complying with Malawi standards, especially in storage and labeling. He attributed the improvement to continuous inspections conducted by the Bureau. Mwenefumbo adds that a few shops still have non-compliant products, particularly imported goods that lack proper labeling, such as country of origin, ingredients and net weight. He said such products are impounded for redress, which is done under MBS supervision. He further explained that if goods cannot be properly relabeled, they are either disposed of or re-exported in line with the Malawi Bureau of Standards Act.
Yeah, in terms of the tax stamps, the regulator is, of course, Malawi Revenue Authority. So we know that some goods are supposed to carry those tax stamps, and the ones that do regulate those are the officials from Malawi Revenue Authority. In terms of some goods that don't carry tax stamps, is according to the Taxation Act, which is under the authority of the Malawi Regulatory Authority.
Meanwhile, The Malawi Bureau of Standards (MBS) has urged suppliers not to sell goods that do not comply with Malawi's law, as this will protect citizens from harm. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
The Association of People with Albinism in Malawi, APAM, says it has written President Peter Mutharika seeking an audience on issues regarding their rights. The move comes in a wake of the resurgence of reported cases of abductions and killings of people with albinism in the country. Constance Kantemini reports.
According to the president of the association, Young Muhamba, the proposed meeting seeks to find long-lasting solutions to the threats that people with albinism face, that include abductions and killings. He further singled out the need for improvement of their welfare, hence seeking Mutharika's interventions. Besides, Mutharika has not yet given a nod to the proposal due to what is reported as his busy schedule.
Because you should understand that there are issues that Malawi Police Service is responsible to handle, issues of protection. But there are also other issues that we believe that the president can answer to. So I cannot say much, I will not say much, but it is a must that we must meet him.
On Friday last week, leaders of the association met the Inspector General of Police, where concerns over attacks targeting people with albinism were raised. The police expressed commitment to improving the safety of the people. Recently, Malawi has seen a resurfacing of attacks towards people with albinism, a situation that has ignited fear among stakeholders. For Luntha Television, this is Constance Kamtemin.
Chief Secretary Justin Saidi has highlighted that turning global climate decisions into concrete action is a matter of national interest for Malawi as the country works to build resilience, safeguard vulnerable communities, and advance sustainable climate-smart development. Speaking at the COP30 Outcomes Dissemination Workshop in Lilongwe today, Saidi pointed out that COP30 in Belém, Brazil, called for accelerated and decisive climate action over the next 5 years, grounded in equity and supported by reliable climate financing. He added that for Malawi already facing the severe impacts of climate change, the COP30 decisions go beyond policy. They represent a call to action in line with the country's long-term development vision, Malawi 2063. Saidi explains.
Well, we are benefiting as a country because there was some projects that we got funds for, and there were a few projects that we did not get funding for. But there are those funding windows that we needed to take on board. So as a country, we need to work more on some bankable projects that next time we go to COP should be maybe COP31, we should be able to even come back smiling. It is important because any country cannot survive without looking at issues of weather degradation. We need to implement all those projects so that we are able, as Malawi, to be safe from devastation.
You are watching news on Luntha Television, and now a reminder of the top stories.
Pope Leo XIV urges the faithful to trust God's timing and proclaim the gospel everywhere. Malawi Bureau of Standards reports improved compliance with Malawi standards among local shops. Association of People with Albinism seeks audience with President Mutharika over safety concerns. And in other news, Uganda post-election tensions escalate as opposition leader's wife attacked.
Moving on with the news, Mr. Malawi Chairperson Gordon Matonga says the newly launched Shifting the Power Inter-University debates will provide young people with an opportunity to critically examine power structures and play an active role in shaping Malawi's development agenda. He made the remarks earlier today in Lilongwe during the official launch, which was held in partnership with Tilitonse Foundation. Bridget Manoka reports.
Luntha Foundation, in partnership with the Media Institute of Southern Africa, MISA Malawi chapter, has launched the Shifting the Power Inter-University Debates, a platform designed to empower university students to challenge dominant development narratives and promote locally led solutions. MISA Malawi chairperson Gordon Matonga said the initiative is expected to shape the mindset of young people by nurturing critical thinking, encouraging them to question conventional development approaches, and prepare a generation of leaders capable of driving positive change in Malawi and across the region.
The aim is to ensure that youth themselves generate ideas on how to transform this country. As we have reviewed today, and this movement is going beyond the borders of this country. It's a movement to transform the whole continent of Africa. And these debates will help stimulate ideas that will empower the youth, but also that will empower states to be able to overcome the challenges that we are facing in the current environment.
Luntha Foundation Chief Executive Officer Robert White noted that the initiative is part of a global shift the power movement that seeks to redistribute power and decision-making to local and indigenous communities.
Currently, we have noted that to get support for organizations is not easy, and also to get support for development initiatives is not easy. So the program is trying to help organizations and civil society in general to be able to be resilient and be self-sustaining, but at the same time to make sure that we are now utilizing the locally available resources to address the challenges that we face, other than just waiting for support to come from external sources.
The Malawi debates will take place in February, with the winning team competing against counterparts from Ghana and Zambia at the Pan-African finale in March. 6 universities will take part in the debates, including Unima, Nzoni, Mubas, MAST, Unima, and Luana, with each institution sending a team of 4 students. The debates will cover key themes such as gender justice, climate justice, mental health, early childhood development, and democratic consolidation, all tied to core shift power topics, including decolonizing development, funding justice, youth agency, community sovereignty, and active citizenship. The initiative is organized by MISA Malawi. In collaboration with Luntha Foundation, with support from the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office and Comic Relief. Bridget Manoka, Luntha News.
The Malawi Electoral Commission MEC has warned the citizens not to register to vote multiple times as it prepares for the upcoming by-elections registration exercise. The registration is set to begin on January 31st, 2026 in constituencies and wards where MEC has announced the by-elections will take place, with the exception of Nkhotakota Liwaladze constituency. MEC Commissioner Reverend Philip Kambulile gave this warning on January 25th during a meeting with religious and traditional leaders held at Kasia Primary School in Lilongwe. Tandu Mzumara has more details.
The meeting targeted stakeholders from Chilobe Ward, which is among the areas scheduled to hold by-elections. Addressing the gathering, Commissioner Kambulile emphasized that a 7-day voter registration exercise is strictly for eligible voters who were unable to register during the 16th September 2025 general elections for various reasons.
Either the candidates coming from the party or as an independent candidate, they have got that freedom to move around and campaign for their elections, so that people should know the gist or the issues that they would want to let people know, so that they can be voted into power. So what we are trying to do is actually to sensitize the people, the community, that they have got that freedom and the right to vote for their candidates of their choice. That's what I've been urging them.
Speaking at the event, Senior Group Village Headman Zokoto stated that chiefs should remain apolitical in the execution of their duties. Chilobe Ward is holding a by-election following the postponement of last year's polls due to the death of one of the candidates before polling day. MEC is expected to conduct by-elections in 9 constituencies and 9 wards that currently lack parliamentary and local government representation, respectively.
Tabango Community Day Secondary School Headmaster Hudson Kelvin Galera says schools have a critical role to play in safeguarding Malawi's environment, noting that directly involving learners in tree planting and care helps instill lifelong responsibility toward natural resources. Gareta made the remarks over the weekend when the Association of Environmental Journalists (AEJ), in partnership with System Work Bridge Logistics, planted and donated 600 tree seedlings to Tabango CDSS. More details in this report.
Galeta said that Tabango CDSS will use its wildlife club to ensure that the newly planted trees are properly nurtured and protected, adding that the initiative strengthens environmental awareness among students while contributing to national efforts to combat deforestation and climate change.
It is important for us to ensure that we keep the school greener, the city greener. And as an institution, we are going to make sure that we take care of the trees so that they don't die. It's important that we maintain the ecological balance.
System Work Bridge Logistics Environmental Health and Safety Manager Wamaka Newa said the tree planting exercise aligns with the Malawi 2063 agenda, which identifies environmental sustainability as a foundation for economic growth and national development.
The aim is to make sure that we plant about 100,000 trees by the year 2030, because records show that in the last 25 years, Malawi has lost close to 260 kilo hectares of forest cover, which is an equivalent to 1 million football fields. This is a massive loss. This is why you see the climate change we're kind of experiencing. So if a country which is agro-based as ours does not have proper rainfalls, then we cannot meet that target which we want to do by the year of 2063.
Meanwhile, Association of Environmental Journalists member Owen Nyaka said the media has a critical role to play in shaping public attitudes towards environmental protection.
One of the key elements, one of the most important events, because as you are aware, the environment is completely being depleted. There are a number of areas that has been affected by siltation, floods all over. So planting such kind of trees is very important because for future use it will also help us.
The initiative underscores the growing importance of collective action involving schools, businesses, and the media as Malawi confronts the urgent need to restore its environment and build resilience against climate change. The 2026 tree planting season was launched on 16th January, targeting the planting of 41 million trees nationwide. Bridget Manoka, for Luntha News.
Bank of Malawi for its continued commitment to the development of women's football in the country, describing the sponsorship as a major boost to the women's game. Silver Strikers ladies were crowned inaugural champions of the National Bank of Malawi Women's Premiership with 3 games to spare and capped off a successful season in style on Sunday, edging FCB Nyasa Big Bullets women with 2-1 in a thrilling final at Silver Stadium. Wiskesi described the successful completion of the league as a significant milestone in the promotion of women's football, noting that it comes at a crucial time as Malawi prepares for the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON to be held in Morocco. She added that the government recognized the importance of adequately funding the Malawi national women's football team, the Scorchers, ahead of the tournament.
Well, to follow up on the progress that we are making, what we are waiting as at now is for FAM to engage the sponsor, which is National Bank, on their commitment to support. Then from there we'll see the deficit that is there and then see how as government we can come in to support. What I can assure the nation and the public at the moment is that as government we are very interested and very committed to ensure that the women receive the necessary support that they need.
Football Association of Malawi President Fleetwood Haya also praised National Bank of Malawi for its role in supporting and uplifting women's football across the country. Haya emphasized the need for the collective support towards the Scorchers as they prepare for the Continental Showpiece scheduled to run from March to April in Morocco.
And National Bank is also the only sponsor who is also sponsoring our regional leagues. You need to understand the district cup. So if you look at the investment that they've made to football, we believe that we have got a true partner in football. We believe that we have got a true partner that indeed is going to cap the gap that we had for vulnerable people and indeed for every corner of Malawi. So as Football Association of Malawi, we are very happy about this tournament, and let me send my congratulations to Silver Strikers.
Meanwhile, National Bank of Malawi representative Daniel Jerry said the bank is satisfied with the manner in which the competition was conducted, highlighting that no cases of violence were recorded throughout the season.
A good success. We have seen a number of impressive accolades that have been won and earned by the players. We decided to provide the first ever structured league for women's football, and that brought together participants, teams from all over the country, and that was quite an achievement.
As the champions Silver Strikers ladies have pocketed 10 million Malay kwacha, while runners-up Ascent Soccer Academy received 7 million kwacha, and third place MDF Lioness and 5 million kwacha. FAM and National Bank of Malawi signed a one-year sponsorship deal agreement. FAM and National Bank of Malawi signed a one-year sponsorship agreement aimed at further supporting the growth of women's football in the country. For Luntha News, this is Patrick Pupa.
And in other news, Uganda's post-election tensions continue to escalate after the wife of opposition leader Bobi Wine was allegedly attacked by armed men who stormed her home while searching for her husband. Babala Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Babi, has recounted a night of terror that left her injured and hospitalized. UNIP TV reporter Afonso Uma has the details.
The wife of Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine has described a harrowing ordeal after armed men forced their way into her home and attacked her while demanding to know her husband's whereabouts. Barbara Kyagulanyi, affectionately known as Babi, told reporters from her hospital bed that dozens of men dressed in military uniform broke into the family residence late Friday night. She said the intruders repeatedly questioned her about Bobi Wine's location, but she refused to cooperate.
A swarm of men, big muscles, height so high, they looked the same. When I looked down, they had almost the same shoe size. That group is a group that is selected. You can see that they selected them according to height, to weight, to size, to color. And they belong from our tribe.
Babi told journalists that she informed the men she did not know where her husband was and stood her ground when they demanded access to her mobile phone, declining to unlock it despite intimidation.
When they came, he went back behind me. I was wearing my husband's nightie because these days I was feeling like I can't wear my nighties. Something is going to happen in that night. So I was wearing a biker, and on top of it, I was wearing a nightie. So he held the trousers of the nightie and pulled me up. Then he held the shirt of the nightie from the back. He was using one arm. So he held it, then he brought the phone in front of me and said, remove the password. I said, I have told you I will not remove the password. The one that he came with held me in the neck here and lifted me off my feet in the neck like this. So when he lifted me, in self-defense, I kicked him because he was in front of me. So I kicked him in the groin and then he walked away. This one pulled me, the buttons of my shirt broke, and he stayed with my shirt in his hands.
She said the armed men became increasingly aggressive, harassing and insulting her as they continued their search. The intruders reportedly mocked and verbally abused her, questioning why she had chosen to marry Changulani, widely known as Bobi Wine, the most prominent of 7 candidates who challenged President Yoweri Museveni in last week's general election. The confrontation, she said, left her shaken and physically injured. In a statement issued on Saturday, Bobi Wine confirmed that security officers stormed the residence while looking for him, leaving family members and household staff injured and traumatized. He noted that he was not at home at the time of the incident.
Now, last night was the third time for them to raid us. They came in hundreds, according to my wife. They broke every door in our house, including those that were not locked. They took away all our documents, from academic documents, land title deeds, and all important documents. They took every gadget, phones, chargers. They took our internet system. They even took all the laptops, including children's school laptops. They also took away our CCTV camera system and destroyed anything that they could destroy, broke glass and cut even our chairs. They put my wife on gunpoint, demanding that she shows them where I was. They even forced her to remove the passwords from her phone and our laptops, but she refused.
According to the opposition leader, the operation involved a large contingent of security personnel, some in uniform and others in civilian clothing. He said officers forced their way into the house, breaking doors and windows, and searched every section of the home, including the ceiling and basement, causing extensive damage. Alphonse Ouma, Luntha TV, Nairobi.
With that item, we've also come to the end of our today's bulletin, but let's have a recap of the top stories before we go.
Pope Leo XIV urges the faithful to trust God's timing and proclaim the gospel everywhere. Malawi Bureau of Standards reports improved compliance with Malawi standards among local shops. Association of People with Albinism seeks audience with President Mutharika over safety concerns. And in other news, Uganda post-election tensions escalate as opposition leader's wife attacked.
I'm Charity Jilanga. Thanks so much for watching and goodbye.